You are invited to pause right now. Do not skip this important moment in your life. There's a voice of deep love and complete truth speaking to your heart at this exact second. This is an urgent call, but it does not come from a place of fear or panic. Instead, it comes from a place of pure care and deep affection for your soul. The negative forces in this world, the unseen enemies of your peace, truly hope that you will walk away before you finish reading or hearing this complete message. Those dark forces know exactly what happens when you finally stop running and decide to listen with your whole heart. They know that hearing the truth has the power to break every invisible chain that has been holding you back. They understand that bright spiritual light will always expose the hidden traps set in front of you. Just one single moment of resting in true divine presence can completely undo many long years of deep confusion and doubt. So please give this just a few minutes of your time. Your inner soul is currently standing at a very important crossroads. You might feel like this is just another random message on your screen. You might think it is just another voice in a very loud and crowded world. But you need to listen closely and carefully. This specific moment was perfectly arranged for you long before you ever arrived at this exact place and time. The heavens saw the heavy pressure closing in around you. They saw your quiet, hidden exhaustion. They noticed all the painful thoughts you keep trying to push away because they just feel much too heavy for you to face alone. It is so easy to keep scrolling, to delay the truth, to say you will deal with it later. But you know deep inside that waiting for later has already cost you a lot of peace in the past. Stay present right now. New paths are opening up for you, while other harmful paths are finally closing forever. This choice you are making right now is not loud or overly dramatic. It is a very subtle, quiet, and deeply personal choice made in still moments exactly like this one. No one is here to accuse you of doing anything wrong. No one is here to frighten you or make you feel guilty. This message is reaching out simply because you are loved far too much to be allowed to walk blindly into unseen dangers. You have been quietly praying for clear direction, even if you never spoke those exact words out loud. You have been desperately asking for some kind of relief, for a clear path forward, and for things to finally make sense in your mind. That is exactly why you must not leave this space. A short time spent absorbing this truth can protect you from many future years of deep regret and sorrow. It can completely realign everything in your life that has been slowly drifting off course. No one is demanding that you be perfect. The only thing being asked of you right now is your full attention and an open heart. Stay here, because the words that follow are specially meant to guard your fragile heart and safely guide your wandering steps. Do not rush carelessly past the very hand that is reaching out to save you. Listen with deep care, dear reader. You are not being forced to stay. Instead, you are being invited by a presence that knows all your hidden weaknesses and still calls you completely chosen and deeply valued. If you choose to walk away right now, you might never realize the dangerous trap that was quietly closing around your life. The most dangerous traps in life do not look like scary destruction. Instead, they look and feel very familiar, extremely comfortable, and completely harmless. Unseen eyes have watched the negative patterns slowly forming around your daily life. They have seen the quiet, small compromises you make. They have noticed the tiny distractions that seem so innocent, but slowly and surely pull you far away from the true source of life and joy. Stay present, because what is about to be revealed is meant to save your spirit. It is not just meant to save you from emotional pain, but to save you from slowly turning into someone you were never meant to become. It is well known that you are very tired. Part of your mind just wants to take a long rest from thinking, from constantly having to make hard choices, and from always resisting the heavy pull of the world. But you must deeply understand this important truth. True and lasting rest does not ever come from avoiding your problems. True rest only comes from facing and accepting the clear truth. This message is not meant to overwhelm your already tired mind. Instead, it is here to carefully uncover everything that has been hidden in the dark, so that those hidden things can no longer harm you in secret silence. The enemy of your peace does not even need to push you very hard if he can simply wait patiently for you to look away and lose your focus. That is precisely why this present moment matters more than you can imagine. You are being given the pure gift of clarity before deep confusion can settle permanently into your mind. You are being offered a bright, shining light before your walking path grows any darker. You absolutely do not have to fight these heavy battles all by yourself. Furthermore, you do not have to figure out every single detail of your entire future right this very second. The only request is that you stay and pay attention. Listen using your deep heart and not just your physical ears. Allow these simple, honest words to reach down into those dark, painful places you usually try to avoid. What is going to be revealed to you will not crush your spirit. Instead, it will finally set you free. The hidden nature of your unseen battles. Remain exactly where you are, because walking away now would mean turning your back on the exact help you have been crying out for. Hear this message with deep seriousness, but also with a heart full of bright hope. Out of 100 people, 9 to 9 will likely ignore this gentle voice. They will fall down without ever understanding why it happened. This is not because those people are inherently bad or evil. It is not even because they are foolish. It is simply because they choose to believe the terrible lie that taking time to listen to truth is just an optional activity. They falsely believe they have unlimited time. They think that important spiritual warnings can simply wait for another day. They tell themselves that clear understanding will eventually come to them at some point later on. But you are entirely different. You are still reading and you are still paying attention. That simple fact is not a random accident. Something deep inside of your spirit sensed that this message truly mattered, even if your logical mind could not fully explain why. Do not turn your face away now. The quality of your future life truly depends on hearing this message completely to the very end. This is not meant as a dark threat. It is simply a statement of truth, because the direction you choose to look will always determine the final destination you reach. It is obvious how very close you have come to falling off certain emotional edges lately. It is clear how often you have bravely told yourself and others that you were perfectly fine, while deep inside your spirit felt incredibly unsettled and worried. The quiet, invisible battles you fight alone have been seen. The hard, heavy questions you never voiced out loud have been heard. The fleeting moments when you felt a sudden, sharp pull in your heart but chose to ignore it have not gone unnoticed. This message is speaking to you directly right now to firmly interrupt that negative pattern. You are definitely not a weak person just because you need some guidance in life. Actually, you are a very wise person for choosing to stay and listen. Most people in this noisy world will always choose loud, meaningless noise over quiet, helpful truth. They will choose easy, temporary comfort over difficult, lasting correction. They will choose shallow, flashy distraction over deep, meaningful understanding, but you are still quietly listening. That tells the universe that your inner heart is not completely asleep. Do not let quick impatience steal away the beautiful gift that spiritual awareness is trying to hand to you today. Stay completely engaged until the very last word, because every single word builds strongly upon the one that came before it. Leaving this message early would be exactly like deciding to stop walking right in the middle of crossing a very high bridge. You're being safely led to a much better, more secure place, but you must keep walking forward. This journey is absolutely not about fear. It is completely about living a full, vibrant life. Remain a present, because the things you are about to finally understand will explain all those strange feelings you have experienced but never fully comprehended before. As this message continues, please understand that the darkness around you is actually very afraid that you are choosing to listen. This statement is not just beautiful poetry. It is the absolute, literal truth of your current situation. Dark, negative forces can only survive when they are allowed to operate in deep secrecy. They thrive in atmospheres of thick confusion, whispered half-truths, and many unanswered questions. The very second you decide to truly open your heart and listen to the truth, that darkness immediately begins to lose its tight grip on your life. Give this message just a little more of your focused time. What you are going to hear next will completely expose all the harmful things that have been carefully hidden and used against you. It is completely understandable if you feel a little bit skeptical right now. You might feel very cautious and highly guarded. This is completely natural because you have experienced deep disappointment from various people and situations in your past. That past pain is fully understood. But please, hear this clearly. Exposing the truth is never meant to bring you any shame. The entire purpose of this exposure is to protect you from further harm. Right now, there are subtle influences operating all around your life that do not loudly announce themselves as dangerous. There are whispering voices in your mind that sound very reasonable and logical. There are certain emotional feelings that seem entirely justified given your difficult circumstances. There are walking paths laid out before you that look incredibly safe and inviting. However, the curtain is about to be pulled back so you can see reality. This is not being done to overwhelm your gentle heart. It is being done to fully equip you for the road ahead. You have been feeling a lot of strange tension lately, and there is a very specific reason for that feeling. You have sensed deep down that something was just a little bit off, but you simply could not put a name to it. Please know that this growing awareness is absolutely not the same thing as random anxiety. It is actually your spiritual discernment finally waking up from a long sleep. Stay fully present right now. Once your eyes are opened and you can finally see things clearly, you can never be so easily tricked or deceived again. The power of focus and divine care. The unseen enemy in your life actually fears your clear understanding much more than he fears your physical strength. He fears the simple truth much more than he fears your hardest efforts. You really do not need to try to fight harder. What you actually need is to simply see better. That clear vision is exactly what is being offered to you in this very moment. Just one short minute spent standing in the bright light of truth can completely undo many long years of subtle, quiet confusion. Do not ever underestimate the sheer power of this specific moment in time. Do not mistakenly dismiss this profound experience as a mere random coincidence. Truth is reaching out to meet you exactly where you currently stand because it wants to gently lead you to the exact place where you truly need to be. Stay right here. Listen completely and without any reservation. The important truths that are about to be revealed to you will forever change the way you choose to move forward in your daily life. Please hear these gentle words and do not treat this specific block of time as if it were just an ordinary, passing event. You are being spoken to with very deep, clear intention. There is absolutely nothing about your current situation that is accidental. You definitely did not arrive at this exact page or message by mere random chance. You did not pause your busy life to read this just out of blind habit or simple, fleeting curiosity. You have been carefully and gently drawn to this exact spot. This was done deliberately because this specific moment in time carries a spiritual weight that goes far beyond what your natural, physical eyes are capable of seeing. There are certain rare times in life when the heavens seem to lean down a little bit closer to the earth. There are times when the unseen spiritual world becomes much more active than it usually is. This very moment right now is exactly one of those special, significant times. You truly need to understand that what might feel like just a simple, ordinary pause in your busy afternoon is actually a massive spiritual intersection. Important decisions about your future are currently forming. New directions for your life path are being permanently set. Whether you choose to offer silence or active attention right now will directly shape everything that follows in your future. That is exactly why this message is being delivered with a strong mixture of both deep urgency and unconditional love. There is no sense of wild alarm here, but there is a very high level of spiritual alertness. There is no crippling fear at present, but there is a firm, unwavering strength. You are being asked to stay fully present and actively engaged. There are entirely unseen spiritual forces moving actively all around you during this very second. Knowing this fact does not mean that you are in any immediate physical danger. However, it absolutely does mean that your life is highly significant and deeply important. The enemy of your soul never wastes his dark energy or focused effort on things that have no real value. He never bothers to closely watch a person whose life carries no greater divine purpose. You have probably wondered in the past why silly distractions seem to follow you around so constantly and persistently. You have likely asked yourself why your mental focus is so frequently pulled away at the exact moment when you finally start to feel some clear understanding rising in your mind. Rest assured, that annoying pattern is absolutely not a coincidence. Constant distraction is never just a harmless, everyday habit. It is actually a very carefully crafted, highly effective spiritual weapon used against you. This weapon of distraction does not loudly shout at you. Instead, it quietly whispers in your ear. It does not launch an open, aggressive attack against your life. Instead, it very gently and softly nudges you away from finding any quiet stillness. It pulls you away from deeply listening. It drags you far away from finding any profound spiritual depth. The enemy's greatest, most consuming desire is absolutely not to completely destroy you in an open, obvious way. Outright destruction is far too noisy and always draws too much unwanted attention. Instead, his greatest, darkest desire is simply to keep you entirely silent. He wants to create a vast, unbridgeable distance between you and the truth. He wants you to only ever engage in partial, half-hearted listening. He specifically wants you to hear just barely enough truth to make you feel mildly comforted, but never quite enough truth to actually cause you to fundamentally change your life. He desperately wants you to start walking on a good path, but he never wants you to actually finish the journey. That hidden strategy is exactly why you are being called upon right now to listen with your complete, undivided attention. You are invited to deeply feel just how incredibly close pure love is standing next to you in this exact moment. You are absolutely not left exposed to the harsh elements of the world. You are not walking around unguarded and unprotected. You are never, ever truly alone. Shielding the mind and healing the heart. A warm, divine presence completely surrounds you, even as these words of strong warning are being spoken to your heart. These urgent words are absolutely not meant to frighten you or cause you any distress. They are spoken with pure urgency simply to protect your life. Think of a loving parent who suddenly raises their voice. They do not yell because they are deeply angry with their precious child. They raise their voice loudly because they see their innocent child unknowingly wandering far too close to a busy, dangerous road. The divine perspective can clearly see your entire life path, from beginning to end, not just the next tiny step you are about to take. That higher perspective knows exactly where a life of continued silence and distraction would eventually lead you. That complete, loving vision is the exact reason why your busy day is being interrupted right now. That is why you are being asked to please stop rushing around. Please stop trying to do multiple things at the same time. Please stop half listening to the important things in your life. The message you are receiving at this very moment is not just random background noise. It is pure, clear, and vital direction for your very soul. You might actually be feeling a strange, tight tension in your inner spirit as you read these words. You might be experiencing a deep, undeniable sense that this message somehow matters much more than you initially expected it to. That specific feeling is happening because your inner spirit instantly recognizes the pure voice of truth, even when your logical, thinking mind is still struggling to catch up and understand. You were specially created to naturally respond to the truth. You were carefully formed with a deep, inner spiritual awareness that instantly stirs to life whenever eternal things brush up against temporary, earthly things. That sudden, deep stirring you are feeling in your chest is absolutely not fear or anxiety. It is actually your soul moving into proper alignment. It is your deepest self finally recognizing that something incredibly important is being directly addressed. Please do not try to suppress or hide that feeling. Do not simply label it as mere emotional discomfort and quickly move away from it. Lean deeply into that feeling, because true spiritual clarity very often arrives just before deep emotional comfort does. You were specifically chosen to hear these words. This is not because you have lived a completely perfect, flawless life. It is simply because you have a beautifully willing heart. A willing heart is considered incredibly precious and highly valuable in the eyes of the divine. So many people in this world are constantly busy. So many voices are incredibly loud. So many individuals are overflowing with proud confidence. Yet, very few people are actually willing to just stop moving, Be completely still and deeply listen. The fact that you are still reading this message tells the universe that your heart remains wide open. This is true even if your heart is currently very tired. It is true even if your heart has been deeply wounded by past events. It is true even if your heart is currently swirling with deep confusion. You are not being spoken to as if you were a total stranger. Your entire personal history is completely known and deeply understood. The painful moments when you almost decided to just give up on everything are fully known. The long, dark nights when you lay awake in your bed, silently struggling with heavy thoughts you never dared to speak out loud, are completely remembered. The desperate, pleading questions you asked the universe that felt like they simply disappeared into an empty, silent void were actually heard. Love was present with you during all of those difficult past times, and that same love is fully present with you right now. This exact moment in time is actually a vital part of the beautiful answer you have been patiently waiting to receive. Please try to understand this point very clearly, dear reader. The dark enemy of your soul absolutely does not fear your busy, frantic daily activity nearly as much as he deeply fears your growing spiritual awareness. You could stay incredibly busy every hour of the day and still remain completely tied down and bound by invisible chains. You can easily appear to be very strong to the outside world while still being horribly misled in your personal direction. However, when you truly decide to stop and listen, things change dramatically. When you finally become fully aware of all the hidden things that are secretly shaping your private thoughts and quietly guiding your daily choices, the enemy's dark influence instantly begins to weaken. That loss of control is exactly why the darkness works so incredibly hard to keep you constantly distracted. It tries to keep you emotionally numb so you cannot feel anything. It pushes you to constantly rush around from one task to the next without ever pausing to think. A heavily distracted heart will very rarely ever notice subtle, creeping spiritual dangers. A constantly hurried, frantic mind will almost always entirely miss gentle, loving divine guidance. You are being lovingly called to step out of that toxic, exhausting pattern right now. This call does not come with any harsh condemnation or angry judgment. It comes only with the deepest, most profound care for your well-being. There are many complex situations currently unfolding all around your life that you simply cannot see clearly yet. Please know that your inability to see everything is absolutely not a personal failure on your part. It is simply the natural, normal reality of walking through this life by faith instead of by pure physical sight. However, love does not want you to continue walking blindly into the unknown future. Love wants you to walk forward with deep, careful attention. Remaining entirely silent and ignoring the gentle voice of truth only creates a state of deep vulnerability. Conclusion: walking in light and victory. On the other hand, actively choosing to listen creates a powerful, invisible covering of divine protection over your life. Every single truthful word you quietly receive into your heart right now works to deeply strengthen your inner discernment for all the challenges that still lie ahead of you. You are actively being prepared and equipped right now. This preparation is not just to help you survive today. It is being given to help you thrive in all the many days that are yet to come. This vital preparation is exactly why this specific moment matters so incredibly much. This is why you are being so strongly asked to remain present. You must firmly resist the sudden, nagging urge to simply skim quickly over these important words. You must choose to stay fully engaged until the very end of this message. You are a chosen individual. You have absolutely not been singled out by the universe to experience random harm or endless suffering. Instead, you have been carefully set apart for a very specific, beautiful purpose. However, you must understand that whenever your true purpose draws near, spiritual resistance will naturally begin to increase. That increase in pressure definitely does not mean that you should be terrified of what lies ahead on your path. It simply means that you need to listen much more closely to the divine voice that can already see the entire, completed picture of your life. You are absolutely not being asked to stand up and fight a difficult battle right now. You are simply being asked to open your heart and hear the truth. Hearing the truth must always come before receiving true wisdom. True wisdom must always come before experiencing lasting peace. That deep, abiding peace is the only thing that can successfully guide you safely to the wonderful places where all your hard, exhausting striving never could. Please understand that you are also being actively shielded from harm even as you read these words. You are constantly protected by the unchanging power of divine truth. You are closely guarded by an ever-present loving divine spirit. You are completely and fully covered by an unconditional love that never fades. Absolutely nothing in this world or the next can ever snatch you away from that safe, protective hand, as long as you choose to remain attentive to the voice of truth. That guaranteed safety is exactly why there is such a strong, repetitive emphasis placed on the vital importance of listening fully. When you only receive half of the truth, you leave the door wide open for dark confusion to enter your mind. But when you receive the full, complete truth into your heart, it brings incredible, unshakable stability to your entire life. Deep, lasting stability is exactly what love desperately wants for you. The goal is for you to become completely grounded in reality. You should not be easily shaken or thrown off course by every passing emotional feeling or every random opinion you hear from other people. You are meant to be deeply rooted like a strong tree, not constantly reactive to every little breeze that blows your way. This wonderful process of becoming rooted begins right here, in this exact moment, with your simple, willing attention. Please do not ever underestimate the sheer, world-changing power of just one single moment of true, focused listening. Entire human lives have been radically shifted toward the good simply because someone chose to stay present when it would have been so much easier to just walk away. Entire futures have been beautifully changed because a willing heart bravely chose open awareness over comfortable avoidance. You are absolutely not late to the journey. You have definitely not missed your one big chance at happiness. You are standing right here, right now, and right now is perfectly enough. This is the exact, appointed moment that was chosen to speak pure clarity into your tired soul. The gentle voice of truth will continuously keep speaking to you as long as you continuously choose to keep listening. Stay entirely present, dear reader. Let all the loud, chaotic noise of the outside world slowly fade away into the background. Let the vital urgency of this message sharpen your mental focus, but never allow it to increase your personal fear. You are completely safe in this moment. You are truly and deeply seen. You are actively being guided toward a better future even as you read this very sentence. This specific block of time is absolutely not random. It is entirely necessary for your growth. As you continue to quietly listen, you are already boldly stepping directly into the bright protection, the deep clarity, and the beautiful intended purpose that has been so carefully prepared just for you. Your journey into the light is only just beginning. Walk forward in perfect peace. You are guarded, you are seen, and you are deeply, unconditionally loved.